Tommy.
Hey, Tommy Cutlets here.
What's
to you? Oh no,
what's the
That's
Cutlets thing?
Because he lives at home and his mom makes him chicken cutlets every night before games.
I like his agent. Hey.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, thank you for watching the Roundtable. I'm Aaron Phillips, sitting alongside my good friends. When they show up, I'll let you know. In the meantime, I got these guys.
Whatever.
Rick Upchurch to my immediate right, number 80, Flash.
What's that?
Orange Dad.
How you doing?
There you go. George Miklos, the Mouth, is here as well. Today he's playing Santa G for us, and he was kind enough to bring us some goodies. To share.
Absolutely.
Now, in return,
Denise too.
Right, and Denise as well. I know she really did the work. You just delivered
Pretty
it.
much, I did. Yeah.
The only thing Santa G wants for Christmas is a win tonight against the Chargers.
That's it. That's what I would like to have.
Anyway, thank you for watching, everybody. Thank you for watching on Facebook. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure that you remember to hit the live button. Otherwise, you're not watching us on YouTube very successfully. If you're going to go back and watch it on YouTube, you still got to hit the live button. 702-992-3207 is our phone number. If you're driving around, you want to listen. WWDBTV on your Android, WWDBTV on your iPhone. And, of course, in about 72 hours, you can watch on the Roku channel, Roku Network, WWDBTV channel, where you get a lot of choices to watch shows.
So what's it take 72 hours? I've been more
upload time, editing. By the time
okay.
Roku gets it, all that sort of stuff.
You have to download it from one place, upload it to another place.
Yeah, it's not as easy as just turning a switch.
Okay.
Well, after you did that, did you get cottonmouth? Boy, that was a lot of typing right there.
Notice I have.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sheesh. But I got it down pat. It's like I don't even know I'm saying it after a while.
I need sunglasses to
Merry
look at the bat signal.
Hey, listen, the bat signal is up.
Is that supposed to be like a Merry Christmas Batman ugly
it's
sweater?
Like supposed to be but I don't think it's ugly. Don't you dare.
Well, that's
call
right. I
Batman
forgot he's a
sweater
Batman.
Well, I'm a Superman guy. I'm not going to call it ugly, but
you know how that is
Batman's
when they say Christmas sweaters, they're all ugly.
Well, they're ugly sweaters. So my school I was at today had Ugly Sweater Day. They actually had a party, having a party tonight, the Ugly Sweater Party after school, but obviously I declined for obvious reasons. Anyway,
Right. Yeah.
I have a show to do.
Yeah.
Right. Which, by the way, January 4th, make sure you guys mark your calendars. You're going to have to meet me at Gilbert Academy for Performing Arts, or whatever the hell their name is.
We're good. We're done.
January 4th.
January 4th, 4 to 5 p.m. We'll be live from their theater doing our show.
That's
and hopefully
cool.
we're going to do it. Hopefully we're going to do it in their big theater, not just in the new studio.
Wow.
And we just sent out permission slips for 4th and 5th graders to attend with their moms, dads, whoever
Really?
they want. If we can get at least a minimum of 30 to 50 people, we will be on the big stage in the theater.
So I'm going to need a zipper.
We will, whether we're on the big stage or in the studio,
we
will need to make certain our language is appropriate for the
I'll play
audience.
tape face then.
So there you go.
To do the show without microphone.
That's right.
So what is the theme? What is the theme?
The theme is, well, we're going to do our show. We're going to pick some topics that are
education.
Oh, is that what it is? Edumacation.
Okay. We're going to select topics that are good for all audiences to hear our conversation.
Oh, okay.
As well as kind of
Marvel versus Disney.
No, I'm going to ask how many kids play jacks.
You can do that. You can have fun with it. That's fine. They won't know what it is.
They play jacks?
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think
know.
so.
But
you play jacks? Did you
did
play
when I
jacks
was a
when you were little?
kid.
Did you play jacks?
I played Jill. But anyway.
Oh, my God.
Boy.
So
and I'm the one out of work.
folks.
I'm out of work.
The other purpose is, of course, we want to promote Gilbert Elementary School as an academy for the arts, because people really don't know that this theater that's there, the school itself has been around for over 40 years.
How long?
It's about 40 years.
Oh,
It's one of the
40?
longest. 40.
Wow.
Like it's one of the longest schools that's been around.
School.
The oldest school, but the theater was built probably within the last, I'll say, 5 to 10 years, and it's really state of the art. John's been there numerous times, and we want to. The principal's asked us to really help promote the school because students from all around the valley can audition and go there, or enter the lottery, I should say, is how they do it. So anybody who's is interested in anything in the arts, dancing, broadcasting, cheerleading, there's sports programs, there's all sorts of programs for the arts. That's the
I
key
love
word.
it.
Okay.
And so the principals asked us to if we could do a show there and kind of help promote the school. And I said, of course,
Heck yeah.
because when he threatened my job, if I didn't do it, I had no reason but to say yes.
And what do you
All
mean
right.
a show
Kidding.
with no mics? Was he joking?
He was joking, of
Oh, I
course.
was
It's
gonna
going to
say-
be a remote show for us.
Oh, okay.
But our
Like
language-
we did.
But our language must be G-rated because we are on
Oh.
the property of an elementary school.
Daddy
George.
G rated.
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
So-
what do these kids hear when they're at home? They hear more than we would ever say, right? And they
Absolutely.
bring it to us. They're like, "Hey, so and so and so and so and so," and I'm like, "Where did that come from?"
But here's the thing: do they need to hear that from us?
no.
They can hear it all they want from home, but do they
Yeah.
need?
I don't care what they hear at home. What do you think was going to happen if they hear it from us?
Well, I think we're gonna get shut.
All those fucking people at home coming down there, and fucking
Wow.
jumping our ass.
Have you ever heard a satellite shut off?
7-second delay, but the internet
Not
doesn't
here.
have it.
There ain't no
We're
delay.
gonna
Well, there-
have a 1 hour.
There's no it's Wild Wild West on the internet. There is no
Except we have to take into
FCC.
account our audience.
I- that
Not
I
the
understand.
FCC. It's
oh, I
the
know.
audience.
I understand.
So, but we'll deal with that when we get
Contributing to
closer.
the delinquency of-
Correct.
Right. I don't
So-
want to get in trouble for that.
So let me do this. If anybody around the valley, though, would like to attend adult-wise 4th and 5th grade, if you're going to want to consider anything like that, you're more than welcome to attend. I ask you to send me an email confirming because if you're going to say you're going to be there, you got to be there. Because if you're going to say you're going to be there, I'm taking you to account, and I can't hold the show in the theater because then we get relegated to the studio. It'll be your fault. So
Yeah.
send me an email.
And don't they have to check in at the?
They will have to check in at the front as well. But send me an email. I mean, I would love to have as many people there. I'd love to have 200 people there that we can do it in front of. Would be great. Send me an email at theroundtablelv@gmail.com. That is theroundtablelv@gmail.com. If you'd like to come down and be part of a live audience, we'd love to have you. Bring your checkbooks because we'll ask for a donation.
Yeah.
But anyway, I digress.
Checkbooks, money, cash.
Anyway, so that's all I'm going to say about that because we actually have a lot to talk about. But as always, I'm going to ask my friends here, how was your week since we last convened here, Mr. George?
Oh my God, has it been?
It's been a week already.
I wasn't even here. Was I here last week?
No.
Yeah. No, I
Was it
wasn't.
last week?
Mm-mm.
Was this you and I last
It's
week?
just me and you,
Yeah,
big
yeah.
dog.
No,
Wasn't it?
last week, 2 weeks
Oh,
ago.
was it?
2 weeks.
Oh, it's 2 weeks. Okay.
Yeah. By the way, Chief
All
Show,
right.
we
Now
had
we know how his week was.
Right.
by the way, the show was
I-
Chief filling in. We had almost like 30,000
Oh yeah, that's
views.
right, Chief. That's right.
Oh, that's right.
That's
Good,
right.
good,
We
good.
almost
The
had
Chiefer.
30,000
That's 2
views
weeks
with
ago.
Chief. That
Yeah,
was 2
yeah,
weeks
yeah.
ago. We have about 4
30,000.
since you got back. But
I know.
don't
Right?
how that
They
cookie
shut it
is
down,
saying.
huh?
They said no more.
I
Anyway, so-
didn't really do much of anything. I did go to the Raider game last week, and I've been in mourning ever since, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I was there. 3-0, and it was
It was a pitcher
absolutely
shutout. It was a pitcher's
horrible.
duel.
Yeah, like a baseball game. I was like, what the? And it had to wait until a minute and a half left in the game. Really? Couldn't. My God. I wanted to at least go into overtime 0-0, but no, they had to blow it before that.
Of course.
So we'll
boy,
see tonight.
what was the score? 6-0.
3-0.
3-0.
With a minute and a half to go. That's
Isn't
what
that a
it-
record? Doesn't that tie some type of a
Well,
record?
they
as
said
far-
it was the first game that was the lowest scoring game since 2007.
Nobody could get any. I didn't watch the
Nothing.
game.
I
I didn't watch the game, but I'm like, they didn't get any offense going.
Nothing.
At
The
all?
pitcher threw one bad strike down the middle. It was a 3-run homer, and that was it.
Yeah.
With the
Oh my
bottom of the
gosh.
top of the 8th inning.
top of the fourth.
Really, man?
Of course.
So what's wrong with the Raiders offense now? Is it the quarterback now that they have in there?
Well,
He
they're always
can't
going to
run
say something. He's a rookie.
Is it? Wait a minute. Then
See
is
your
it
future.
is it the OC? Is it the offensive
I tell you,
coordinator?
well, I think it's the offensive line. Always Raiders history of the last 30 years. Offensive line, no quarterback. How many quarterbacks have? Gone
So
through
who's
the last-
responsible for the offensive line? What
Offensive line
what are they
coach,
doing?
offensive coordinator. I mean,
Head coach ultimately.
Yeah.
So you have to make some decisions. If you're scoring those type of points, you have to make a decision on bringing someone in. I don't care if it's that you're halfway through the season or not.
and even,
Anybody that wants to come to a team that can't score any points
Right.
and they lose 3-0, defense did their job, right?
Well, they finally, after they're ranked the 10th, I think, in the league, the defense for the first time in a long time, have they been really, really good.
This is
But it's not even. I don't even know what you say about the team, the coaches in the Raiders' defense. I mean, they've gone through 25 head coaches since 2002. It's insane. You can't keep changing every year.
So what's
or
wrong
two.
with the culture of the Raiders then? You're a Raider fan, right?
Oh,
You're a
it's
Raider
just
fan.
not-
I love
So
when
what is-
Broncos lead this.
So
type
what
of
is the
conversation.
culture
Well,
over there with the
all I can say is
Bring in Ted Lasso.
I saw it. I saw an interview with
I love
Tom
bringing
Brady.
the owner of the
And
team.
he was talking about how the NFL is not the same as it was when he came
Right.
in.
I heard that
If
one.
you heard and saw that one, it's like in the NFL, the players don't play as hard. The coaches aren't as good as they were. It's just a collective thing. And in the Raiders, just since 2002, it's just been, a new coach every year.
Do
and
you
a
think
half.
it's a such thing as that even at the professional level, you make too much money? I'm looking at the NIL. You look
Oh,
at Marvin Harrison Jr.
It's
and they're
$20
talking
million.
about a $20 million deal for him in college for him to come back.
Didn't he have to play?
Sports to me now, look, I would have loved back in the day been able to get, an NIL deal and that old deal.
Sure, who wouldn't?
But the thing about it, would that have taken away my desire to play the game?
Yes. Did you hear what Michael Jordan said?
Right.
He said today's play, he was specifically talking about basketball. He goes, the players make way too much money. They get $5 million before they even step on the court for the first time. And he goes, it's not the desire to get better when you have nothing is there. But when you, like you mentioned, you have $5 or $10 million before you even get on the court.
It's
I think
it's
you're
the difference
cheating.
between being hungry to
Right.
succeed
Yes.
versus
And now
being
you-
given the silver spoon.
Right. And you're
Yes.
cheating yourself
Right.
now because you don't have to play.
Well, you
your
talked about
best
culture
anymore.
about the Raiders a few seconds ago. I heard this coming over here. Ben Roethlisberger, the former quarterback of the Steelers,
Right.
made a comment about his beloved Steelers, which I don't know if it is true or not, but he didn't want to point fingers at Tomlin. Tomlin's very highly revered.
there
He's one of the
15 years.
he's one of the longest reigning
Right.
coaches. But his comments were along the lines of this: something needs to change because right now it appears that there's nobody in that team willing to take somebody by the face mask and get in their face and show that old aggression style of on
you're
both
not
offense or
allowed to.
exactly. And no, I don't think it was pointing us. I think Tomlin's been the same throughout all this
Right.
time. But you still have to have those leaders on offense or defense. It's not afraid to go to his teammate
Well,
and
like-
say,
Like Rick
and
just said, the
yeah.
culture of the game has changed over the years, and they are becoming softer. Maybe not more physically soft, but mentally.
but do you not think
And
someone
they
who's
you
making
can't-
$100 million a year still doesn't want to win a Super Bowl?
Of course, the desires
They,
got to be
they
there.
certainly do. Let me put it this way: 77, we went to the Super Bowl, right? Broncos never had been to the Super Bowl before. He never been to the playoffs before. When I got there in 75, what was our desire?
Mm-hmm.
Our desire was to get to the playoffs so that we can make some extra dollars.
Right.
Or my desire was to make the Pro Bowl or Rookie of the
To
Year
get the
so that I
incentives.
could get those incentives
Right.
dollars and that whole deal. Right? It made us work harder. Now, just like with a baby, if the bottle is full, a baby's not going to cry too much, right?
Right.
A baby, he's satisfied, got
Happy.
that bottle. Hey, but let that bottle, right? Let the
Get
bottle
empty.
empty.
Right.
Oh, they're gonna let
And
you know.
The baby's going to let you know. And I think that's the problem. You got guys wearing earrings, 5-carat earrings on the field. They got chains
right.
all over their neck out on the field. They got watches and bracelets on. We never, ever thought about any of that. Why are you wearing that stuff out on the field? That's what I'm talking about.
I
I
agree.
am extremely agree on that. And another thing that bothers me the hell when they're out there on the field doing stretches like we were on the field, and they got their earbuds in, jamming or whatever. No, man, you're not supposed to have that shit in your ear. You're there to play
Well, if you're warming
football.
up, but if you're warming up as a team, I agree with you. If you're just out there jogging around and loosening up your own body and you're by yourself getting
before
in
the
your
crowd
thoughts,
gets in
I
there.
don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, but not when
It's
you're
their way of getting into it. If they're
Right.
with the
Well-
team, if the defensive team should be listening to the coach and doing knee lifts and running, I agree with you. As
Yeah.
a team, if you're warming up, that's one thing.
I hear you. I agree with you guys. But the number one thing that really opened my eyes is when Tyreek Hill says, my wife told me to get your butt back out on the
I
field.
saw that.
And he's talking to her. We would have never, ever had a phone man
Oh, you
out
when
there.
this past week when he got injured?
Yes.
Yeah,
Are you
probably
serious?
had a cell phone in his pocket
Come-
or whatever.
Look, guys,
yeah, when
look.
she said that, I was like, well, she's not wrong, but get your ass back out there. But you don't have to have a cell phone.
You got a cell
How,
phone and
yeah,
you're
how would
talking?
you even get that message? I mean, wow. I didn't know that part. I did not. hear
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So for me, as a former player in that hood, I'm saying to myself, I don't care if you're Tyreek Hill. I don't give a damn who you are. Take that shit back into the locker room
Exactly.
and let's play some football.
So you mean when this? I forgot who it was. It was one of the Saints receivers when he had his cell phone under the goalpost.
Oh
pylon
yeah,
and
they pulled it
crawled
out.
under, pulled it out.
Yeah, I can't
I mean, it was the
stand that.
celebration stuff.
I don't like that.
Or who was it that took a marker out of his sock when he scored? Was it Owens?
Oh,
Oh,
was
that's
it Terrell
somebody,
Owens,
yeah.
Was it
Terrell
right?
Owens,
I mean,
Can't
you know,
stand that.
to me,
Ocho Cinco and
Yeah.
all that.
maybe it was Ocho. All I know is Barry Sanders did it right
Humble.
and he said The reason I don't spike the ball or do any of that stuff is because I was taught early that when you score a touchdown, you go over, hand the ball to the ref because you need to act like you've been there before. I hate when your team is up by 30 and the guy gets a sack, you're losing by 30, and you're coming off like your God's. I'm like
you just saved
the day.
I'm screaming from my living room, shut the hell up, you're down by 30, get back to your position.
But you know why? It's just like the NIL deals, right? Marvin Harrison, $20 million. If I can show out and the cameras are on me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think going to get endorsement deals?
Of course. No, and listen, I don't recognize, I got to be honest with you. I don't recognize anybody other than a quarterback without their helmet on.
That's right.
Some of the receivers, yeah. Okay.
Maybe.
Because at the end of the game, who does the camera guys follow when you follow the
quarterback,
coaches, right? And then it's quarterback and quarterback shaking hands. And by that point, before they even walk off the field, they're handing their helmet to an assistant because it's got the microphone and all that stuff in there. You're always seeing the quarterbacks without their helmets on. Now, within a few minutes, when those guys are already trotting off the field, you're seeing the linemen talking. And I don't know who these guys are.
You only see the lineman, cameraman, when he gets a flag for a
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
Then you find out who they are. You're going, you motherfucker.
That's right. But they saw their helmet on. You still don't know who they are.
Right.
But nowadays, you're right. It's about exposure. But an old school coach, Bill Parcells, right? Hank Stram, Tom Landry. If you're dancing after your team is down 30 points, I don't care if you're benched and you're sacking and you're jiggling around or doing the worm or doing the dog or lifting your leg like you're peeing on a hydrant, those guys would either be benched or you'd be running. After the game, full pads, you're running. I mean,
can't
that's what it's missing.
Well, let me tell you, the most I
discipline.
The most I did, guys, was slam the ball. That's it.
Yeah.
Because I had a guy his name was called me the assassin, and he told me, he says, if you show off on me, homie, and I get a chance not to blow you up, I'm gonna take your face off. I said, yes, sir, Mr. Tatum.
That's right.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Man. Hey, man, I get up off the ground.
He said that
and I'll be like, yes, he did. I'm telling you what I know.
Was he full of stickum?
Hey, man,
you still peeling stickum?
I'm telling you. And so those guys, that was back in the day when they could absolutely bring their hammer on you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now they've made the game softer.
Yeah.
Ask Sammy White.
All right, we have to step aside for a break, but I'm going to leave you these questions that we may ponder upon the return of our break. You ready for number one? Offsides or not? Number two, when is 5 and 8 not the same as 5 and 8? Why does Rick not drive a Bronco?
Oh, jeez.
And I went to a basketball game and a fight I went to a fight in a basketball game broke out starring Draymond Green. We're going to ponder those things when we come back on the other side of the break. Plus, we do have a couple of serious topics that we want to throw around. And then later on, of course, America Speaks. And we want to hear from you, 702-992-3207. Don't go anywhere. We got a lot to do. We'll be right back.
You'll find the art that speaks to your heart at Desert Valley Gallery. I've got to have it.
So colorful.
I can't live without it. You'll find the art that speaks to your heart at Desert Valley Gallery.
Are you looking for someone to provide training to your staff? Do you need a motivational speaker about how to handle change? Do you have an upcoming event that needs an MC to handle those responsibilities? Well, look no further than longtime Las Vegas radio personality Aaron Phillips. I am local to Las Vegas and I can blend my talents with any audience. For more information, please visit www.aaronphillipsvoice.com and book me for your next event or training needs.
Most business owners struggle with the following issue. How do I brand my business to get noticed? 88 Design Studio helps businesses by designing brands that boost confidence, look and feel timeless, stand out from the competition, and attract all the right clients. Whether you are in need of a new brand, upgraded design elements, or completely redesign your current brand, 88 Design Studio has fully customized packages for your business. Call Chelsea McKendrick at 702-525-3334 and visit www.88
88designstudio.com. Let 88 Design Studio give you a brand new outlook for your business.
You could have messed him up, man.
Hi, welcome.
Talking about
You
choking.
guys see this?
We discuss the world events around here during break, and it's so funny. John doesn't tell us when we come back. No, he does.
Yeah.
He tells us when we have about 1 second left.
Yeah.
And you guys might
Two,
catch us
one.
talking about some
Things
really
you shouldn't
crazy
be.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The hot mic.
No, we don't. We don't
Right.
hear much of anything. Anyway, welcome back. We got a lot going on. All right, real quickly, I want to touch on the few little funny things I sent out there. Number one, we're going to get to the offsides call in a second, but I want to go to the easiest one first. I had this thought going into this weekend. The Jets and Giants were both 4-8
Right.
this week. My argument can still stand because they both won. Now they're both 5-8. So my question was, when is 5-8 good? When is 5-8 disappointing? So here's my answer. The Jets being 5-8, given all the hoopla with Aaron Rodgers and everything, 5-8's a disappointment.
Yes,
You'd agree to that?
I agree.
Okay. 5-8 for the Giants. Tommy Cutlets
You got
pulling out big wins.
3 in a
five-
row.
5-8, good for the Giants?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, they
Hometown
were
boy, too, from Jersey.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No,
Yes.
getting that veal parm from mom at home, chicken parm from home.
Did you see the crew, man, up there? They was kissing on each
Yeah.
other. Look like the one
Well,
guy
that's
that
the
goes-
agent. That's the
in
agent.
black.
He looked like the one who was from Godfather. Remember
saw
that?
a great
Giants,
post.
his agent.
I saw a great meme today along those lines of the family. Saquon Barkley in the middle, DeVito on one side, and his agent on the other side in a Godfather-like movie post. It was great. So my point is that this is the glass.
Gun, take the cannoli.
Right, exactly.
Right.
This is the typical half empty, half full.
Well, the
glass, right?
Giants were considered they were going to go 3-14 if they were lucky.
Well,
And now
after
they're-
that was after Jones got hurt because the beginning of the year, everybody felt because their playoff win that they were going to be in the playoffs
It's
again.
a feel-good story. How long it'll
It is.
last, I don't know.
Well,
but he's showing himself.
absolutely.
He's showing up, man.
Hey, listen, the kid, this is the first game that he started in 3 games. He was not sacked. They ran him more under controlled runs that they didn't do the first couple of weeks when he had like 1,000 sacks in 2 games. Not a lot of yards thrown. Doesn't matter. He didn't turn the ball over. Saquon was the one almost
There
cost
you
him the
go.
game,
Yep.
right? Which even at that, I thought was questionable because of the ground not causing a fumble. But that was clarified
Mhm.
because he went down on his own. A ball can cause a fumble,
But
right?
even with that, I'm gonna tell you
Yeah.
the game plan, guys. Okay, if any of us guys got hurt, right? What was the number one thing that we were going to do? Run the football
Right.
so that we didn't put that young quarterback in
jeopardy.
harm's way.
Right.
Yep.
And Saquon has been running the football pretty doggone good.
Yep.
That offensive line for the Giants, they've stepped up.
This last
So
game,
they've taken the
absolutely.
pressure off of DeVito and that
Yeah,
whole deal,
so they're-
where he can get comfortable, and they're selective in the patterns and
Yes.
stuff that he
Right.
has.
Yeah. So I just thought that it's like I did a piece on a blog many years ago.
Excuse me.
My dad, love him to death, Penn State. You guys know my background, but he likes to place bets. So he took the Nittany Lions, give or take whatever, and he lost the bet. But the Nittany Lions won. It was a big game. They won, but he was upset. So I coined this blog title, "When a Win Really Isn't a Win."
Right.
Because I'm happy it's a win. My dad was not happy because
Right,
he lost the bet.
yeah.
That's why I came up with this thought. When is 5-8 good in a city? When is 5-8 bad?
Ask the NFC South that question.
Oh yeah, exactly.
But I like what you said about New York.
Yeah.
With this young ball player coming in,
Mhm.
hometown kid.
Absolutely.
It's
Still
it's
is
a
at
feel
home.
good. Yeah, it's a feel good story.
Yep.
And their family is having a hoot. And
Absolutely.
when I look up there, they're partying,
Right.
they're having fun, man.
They didn't
You
think
gotta
they were
feel
right.
good. You gotta
I
feel
do.
good about it.
His involvement right now with 3 great. Is he going to be the long-term answer? Most likely not. Will he crash that land at some point?
Probably.
Most certainly, because every quarterback does,
Yeah.
right? Look at Brock Purdy. He had those couple of bad games. To me, right now, DeVito's almost like our Brock Purdy. From this standpoint,
Yeah.
Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant. You don't expect a
Right.
whole lot from Mr. Irrelevant,
Tom
right?
Brady was.
Look what he's done. DeVito so far. He was Mr. Irrelevant. Started out in Syracuse, finished up a year in Illinois, played great. He was a high school champ, not far from there, the whole thing. Comes to here, nobody because when he first came in for Jones, they didn't even let him throw the freaking ball.
Right.
Okay. Now all of a sudden they loosen it up. Now he's played
They
pretty
see
well.
what he can
And
do
the
a
last
little
2
bit.
games
Right.
before getting all those sacks, the kid kept standing back up, stayed in there, and to me, it's been a breath of fresh air. I
Yeah,
know
well,
it's not the
well,
level,
Some
man.
well,
funny. You say he lives at home, but and
Well, he
again,
does.
I know.
Mom
I'm
makes
not-
some chicken parm.
Right.
That's why.
That's
That's
where
where
the
that
cut
comes from.
Right. He's probably making some good, decent money. I would think 200 or 300 grand.
A couple
a year.
$100 grand, sure.
well, here's the thing for me. With John Elway, I had him as a rookie. He was a
Mhm.
rookie, right?
Mhm.
And when he first came in, man, he was like a deer in headlights,
Yeah, I
right?
remember those,
They were
those
after they
early
were
games.
blitzing all over the place in that whole deal. Understand this. Once they get enough film on you as a quarterback,
They'll adjust.
and you're not tall and all that type of stuff, and you're a rookie, they're going to bring different blitzes. They're
Sure.
going to bring that heat, and they're also going to tell the linemen to get their
those
hands
hands
up
up.
in that whole deal.
Mhm.
And that way now that keeps him in the pocket,
And
and
the
they're
throwing
going,
lanes.
yeah, and the throwing lanes. So guys,
Sure.
once they get that tape and film on
Yeah.
you, man, we'll find out what you're working with.
What was
Right.
nice about this game the other night, first of all, and Patrick Frazee, big fan of the show's friend of ours. He's a big Packer fan.
Right, of course.
But here's the thing. It was a great game no matter what side you were really rooting for.
Right.
Because down to the end, either team could have won.
right.
And for the last minute and a half, Packers looked like with Barkley's turnover. But here's the thing that was great for DeVito. Last minute, a drive to win the game.
Yes.
Get him down into the 39-yard
Yes.
field goal, whatever it was. And good for his legacy, regardless of what the future holds for him.
Yes.
Whoever comes in, we may be seeing Daniel Jones going bye-bye, and DeVito could end up being the number 2 QB for the Giants next
Right,
year, which
yeah.
for him would be great.
Yeah.
But it's a good story for the football
Every time I
season.
hear
It is.
DeVito, hey,
I know, well, that's-
you fucking
Well, everybody was
idiot.
calling him Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Everybody was calling him Danny DeVito because
Right.
of the name. So, but it's good.
Hey,
but yeah, it's
they
that
might
whole,
have a connection now. You,
Who
know, you
knows?
never know.
him
man.
and Arnold Schwarzenegger were
How you-
brothers
how
back
you
in the
like
day.
me now?
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Right. So, all right. So let's stay in football for one other topic, and this for you as a gentleman who played the position. Tony, was the offsides or not for the Chiefs the other night
Oh, have you
against
seen-
Buffalo?
he
have you
was
seen the
offsides.
memes? Have you
Of
seen
course.
the memes?
Of course.
Yeah,
about-
he was offsides.
Okay.
If-
Should it
and-
have been called though?
Yes,
Okay.
Of course.
absolutely.
Of course it should.
Listen,
Why
holding
wouldn't
goes on every play on the line as well, but it's not called every play.
I don't think Patrick Mahomes, I'm shocked that he really went off like he
Well,
did.
but
Look,
it's the heat of the
I-
moment.
but-
I'll
but-
give
but-
him credit.
agree.
But
with
wait a
what-
minute, you
how
said
he
there's
felt.
holding on every play. So if that's the case, how long would a game last now? Every time you throw a flag, every time there's holding that.
Well, I
Let's
don't
say
think they
instead of the
catch the ball.
instead of the game man being 4 hours long, it's going to be 6 hours long.
As a guy though who officiated high school football, I'm not comparing high school to pro,
Right.
as a head linesman and a line judge.
Mhm.
Okay. They tell us only call it if it affects the play. So if you're standing on your end and the play's going to the opposite side and there's a little hold by you, does it affect the play on the other side? No, they told us to
No, but
swallow our
it's
whistle.
still a penalty. But yeah.
No, absolutely. But,
But no,
that's
I get it.
but that's why they say the holding is really on every play. I mean, I look
Yeah,
at replays
It is,
now
you can't-
when they
it-
show a scoring drive and I see a hook or
Yes.
something and it's not called.
Oh,
Well, they
Well,
teach
that's
you
what
how to
sprung
hold.
them.
They
That's
teach
right.
you how to hold without getting caught.
There's a
doing it.
difference. I get that. But when you see the hand behind the
That's
back,
right.
when you see the hand under the
Yep.
pad,
that's right.
that's hold.
That's right.
And if that's the play, that's springing the running back, that's when the flag should be thrown.
Takes you down like a steer. That's all.
That's-
Takes you down by-
Well, that's why I like Jeff Saturday and his
Yeah.
pancakes on ESPN on Get Up all the time. It's great. But you understand what I'm saying? Yes, it was a penalty. I agree. I didn't catch it watching it live. I did not see that. And I usually watch games now from that headlinesman position
Yeah.
of watching the line.
Even
I didn't
with,
even see it.
but here's the thing about it with Patrick Mahomes and these quarterbacks now every time that they slide or they get hit, they're looking for a flag, guys.
Right,
I'm
they
sorry.
are automatically.
Every one of them are looking
Soon as
for
they
a
get up.
flag when they get up. He hit me too hard and all that type of Mickey Mouse stuff. Man,
Right.
that whole deal.
Well, there was a play on Monday night's game where initially when DeVito was running, it looked like at regular speed, he got caught in the head. They swallowed the whistle and flag. On replay, his hit was in the shoulder.
Right.
Yes.
So they
It
know.
was shoulder to
They-
shoulder.
Absolutely.
But
can
everybody's
see.
you heard it in the stadium when they first played. Oh, and they hit the pad. And, oh my God. Nobody thought boo. Then you show the replay. It was a perfectly legitimate hit. Did he give himself up? Yes.
Yes.
Was it head to head?
No.
It was shoulder to shoulder. The
That's
pads hit pad. It was a good hit for the guy.
That's right.
So there's a point where
and again, we're talking football. Over the years,
Sorry, I didn't
time
mean to be
has
using you as
spent-
a
oh no,
tackle.
that's all right, big dog.
I'm doing this to
I'm used to it.
Back
My
in-
wife does
you're
it. too.
back in the day.
you're protected by two linemen here. So.
Right. Quarterbacks, again, their initial job is to stand in the pocket and get rid of the football. Their job is not to run. That's not their first. They're not
Right.
They're taught not to run first.
Right. Yep.
Today the game's totally switched around now. Yeah, you're the there's certain players that are slower than others, quarterbacks. So, but yeah, you're still taught to throw the football first, then hand it off or take off. Look at like Elway and Tarkenton back in those days. Those guys were scramblers. They were able
Eli and Peyton never ran unless you
No.
had to.
Oh, no.
Hell
And they
no.
were slower than time.
Right.
They were getting the balls out of their hands by 3 seconds.
Easily.
One,
exactly.
2, 3, gone.
Gone.
Exactly.
Because they
And
know
so-
the pressure's coming.
Marino, same way.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, throw.
So my question about these running quarterbacks, and I'm seeing the trend starting
If
to turn
you have
back
the
around.
ability, then
My question is, though, when was the last time a true running quarterback won a Super Bowl?
never that I
No,
know.
no.
Really
There's Steve Young
okay.
won a Super Bowl. I would
Yeah,
call
yeah,
him more
yeah.
of a running quarterback first.
Yeah, I
Russell
guess.
Wilson, even though he didn't win it, well, no,
I
they,
never looked at Russell
No, they
Wilson
didn't.
as being a
The reason-
scrambler.
no. But my
reason-
point is, a
take
pure
off.
pocket passer like a John Elway,
Yeah.
a Peyton, or Eli, they were pocket passers.
Yeah, but Elway could run.
He could run, but he was a pocket.
Pocket
pa-
passer.
He was
Yes,
not
he was.
running. He was not
First.
throwing on the run. It was
No.
right.
Right.
Dak Prescott, is he a running? No, Dak is, I think, more of a
He's a
pocket
pocket
passer.
Yeah, he's a
Okay.
bigger box.
So my point is, when you get into the playoffs, when was the last time a pure running quarterback won a Super Bowl? Give me one in the last 20 years. I don't think-
it's got to be Steve Young.
That's
Even
more
if
than
Steve-
20. But yes,
that's
I
more
agree
than
with you.
20.
It's one I can think of.
But otherwise, there hasn't been any.
Cam
uh,
Newton went to a Super Bowl, but he
He
didn't
didn't
win it.
win it. And the young kid over to Baltimore, he
Lamar Jackson hasn't
been
So
Although
one-
this
yeah.
might be the year.
Right?
for-
Wasn't he in with Harbaugh earlier? Didn't the Ravens get into a Super Bowl? They
I
didn't
don't
win it.
think, I don't
Not
think
with
he was
him.
there. No,
Not with him?
no,
Okay.
uh-uh.
But yeah,
No,
Lamar
They might
Jackson.
get there
Yeah.
this year.
They might, but we don't know.
Here's the thing about it. You got these guys, man, because they don't do anything physical in practice.
Right.
I just remember Craig Morton, he's running boots and stuff, and he's getting hit in practice,
Right.
right? He's getting hit physically so that his body gets used to it.
Right.
Now today, these guys got red things on their helmets or their vests and that whole deal.
Did he hurt
You can't, yeah, you can't touch them or anything. So
Right.
then when they hit the ground,
It hurts them.
it hurts
Yeah.
them.
Right.
They're mentally. I'm
Right.
talking about mentally.
Mhm.
They can't handle it. Oh man, look, man.
Oh shit!
my
my
thing-
thumb.
What, Harry Hebert.
Okay.
Hebert is out. He's got a broken finger.
After the
Well, he's
season.
having surgery though.
I don't care.
Oh, okay.
Let me tell you, man. I'm telling you, I've played with some quarterbacks, man,
I know.
who had broken hands and they still played,
Yeah,
guys.
the mentality
I
was different.
I'm telling you,
That's
man.
why
it's-
Tom Brady said the players aren't as tough as they used to be. The coaches
yeah, man.
aren't as
It's
good as they were.
totally different.
Yeah. Oh, I remember
that
Jack
was
Young.
Roethlisberger I'd quoted earlier.
Yeah. Well, no. Remember?
Oh, about a week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Jack
I know.
Youngblood. I remember he had bone. Get it.
Yeah.
If it ain't, if
Had
the
a
bone
broken
ain't
leg.
sticking out, get back in
Right.
there.
Yeah, well, Ronnie Lott, he takes his finger. It's
Oh, I
jacked
remember
up in
that.
that whole deal.
I wanna go
he
back
takes,
in.
He takes a spatula, a
Knife and cut
knife,
it.
cuts this bad boy off, and goes back in the game. That's the mental
Right.
side of it.
We
man.
don't have that.
No, I agree.
anymore.
I agree.
Some
A lot of
players
that is
do.
gone.
Yeah.
All right. Draymond Green,
Ha.
Warriors. Threw a backhanded, wasn't really backhanded, threw a right cross right cross into Denver Nuggets center. Second suspension this year, second within the last 20 games, whatever it was. He got 5 for the chokehold,
Done
which
for the
was,
season, in my book.
so he was suspended indefinitely. He was suspended 5 games for the reverse chin lock that he gave on the other guy and only got 5 games. This now he's suspended indefinitely. You say he should be suspended for the season.
Correct.
What do you think, Rick?
I don't think he will be.
I think 20 to 30 games. At least 30 games.
I say give him 30 because you know he's going to appeal. The appeals will probably knock it down to 20. I'm okay with that.
That's a
but
couple
I think he
months.
should. Yeah, I think he should suspend it for the year.
But where's the leadership there? Look, Draymond, man, even with his own teammates, that's why the young man left. What was his name? I forget the kid's name that he punched there in practice. What's his name?
I know you're talking
But
about.
anyway, he takes one of his doggone on teammates, punches him, and knocks him out.
Yep.
Wait a minute, man. That's not leadership
At
man.
all.
That's not leadership. That's brutality.
That's
that
thuggery.
separates the
Be
game.
arrested.
That
That's
means
thuggery.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that means that now the team is fragmented. How do
Right.
you win championships with that type of an attitude?
You can't.
You just can't.
Right.
So is he a detriment now, or is he something positive for the team? He's a detriment. He's got to be the glue, man, that brings
How long has
everybody
he been in?
together.
How long has he been playing?
I think about 11 years
Easy-
or
easily
so.
should- easily 10,
so,
11 years.
my God, he's a damn.
Well,
he's
Steve-
been around a long time.
Steve Kerr, as the leadership,
Mhm.
should be taking a more active role. Curry should be taking a more active role as the team leader on the floor. So I agree with you. There's leadership.
And his time in the NBA,
Well,
11
for him,
seasons, that's
yes.
taste.
For him-
That's shame on you, man.
For himself, not being a leader all that time, being a
Right.
champion, I totally agree.
Absolutely.
But sometimes even leaders need to be led. And so if Curry is not saying something to calm him down behind closed doors or get his head straight, that's a missed opportunity. Same thing for Steve Kerr.
But again, I believe that's happening.
Okay.
And I'm just speaking from my experience.
Absolutely.
Sometimes, man, you can even talk to those guys. They're superstars, right?
Mhm.
I mean, when you talk about superstars, they're superstars. Everybody knows them. When they drive down the street, oh, there's Draymond Green, man.
Mhm.
Draymond, you a bad dude, man.
Right, right.
Oh, you my dog. You a dog out there.
Woof, woof.
All of the sudden, man, you start to say to yourself, I'm bigger than life.
Right.
And what anybody says to me doesn't matter
Mhm.
because everybody loves me. I'm popular. The police, when they stop me, they say, hey, man, I'm not going to give you a ticket. I'm going to let you up because you're Draymond Green, right?
Can you sign this?
All
for me?
of those things, man, come into effect, man, mentally in guys' heads, man. And now all of a sudden they feel like, folks,
Right.
that they're bigger
They feel like
than
God.
law. They
Right.
feel like they're bigger than life, and that all the rules don't apply to me.
One last question I want to ask in this, and I want to move on because we got a lot more serious topics I want to touch on. When Ron Artest, now known Meta World Peace for the
Right.
Pacers back in the day, had that fight where he went up in the
Right.
stands, he was
Right.
suspended. You guys remember how
Yeah.
long he might have been suspended for? Because I don't.
I think it was for the rest of the year and then half of the next year.
Okay. So my point is, where should this incident with Draymond Green fall between his last suspension for 5 days for literally choking somebody who he could have killed by choking a little too long? He went right for the neck versus this indefinite suspension for a right hand that he says was part of a flop, which obviously was not, between a year and a half suspension. I agree with you. I think
Yeah.
it should be for the whole
That's it.
season. Enough's
Yeah.
enough.
'Cause
Send a
the season
message.
goes till May or June.
Season
Right.
goes till next season. The
Right.
way it goes.
Pretty much.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's what. Yeah, so he's going to lose.
He's
the
going to
next
lose
6 months.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So it's a
Hopefully you
generic.
have enough money to help
Yeah,
yourself.
it's a
through.
rhetoric. Oh, I'm sure he does. I'm sure it was more or less a
Yes.
rhetoric question. But where does this incident fall between his last suspension and that one? And the suspension, like I said,
Well,
5
what
days
this
for the
needs to
choke
do-
was a joke.
This needs to keep the other players. Oh, okay. Needs to be.
Yeah, but nobody else does what he does on the court for the stupidity that he does with
But
the
he
right
did-
hands chokeholds. Nobody else does it.
Well, right, and they don't. But just now everybody else now they know. Okay.
Yeah, it set us
That's-
precedent. but
Yes, you have to have some kind
There's
of.
flagrant twos, and then there's flagrant idiotic twos. And dare I say that his falls in the latter category?
Right.
We'll be putting it mildly. Yes?
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to another topic, though. There's one that's still related to sports, but I'm going to hold on to that one for a little bit because I don't want to get George too fired up with 25 minutes to go in the show. I think you might know which one it is. And
Yeah,
you sent it to me. So,
I did.
all right, let's talk about something. Let's talk about the topic you put in there and that we were talking about before about the foster kid system.
Yeah, man. Foster care system, man, here in Las Vegas, probably across the country,
Mhm.
but we're here in Las Vegas. I worked in the foster care system when I was here. My first stint, I worked at Agape Children's Services
Mhm.
for Mr. Brian Link. We had him on our
Yes,
show.
early on. Yes.
And so when you talk about the number of kids, I mean, I remember back in, it was 2006, I believe,
Mhm.
2007. And there were a lot of kids that were in the foster care system, right? There was a lot. Today, there's 3,400 kids that are in the foster care system here right now.
Mhm.
Right now, there's only about 100 kids that are eligible to get adopted.
Mhm.
So what are we going to do with the other 3,300 kids? And is the foster care system working for Las Vegas? Is it making it feasible
Mhm.
for people to be able to go and adopt these kids? Or is it that people just don't want to deal with kids? Because remember, the teenagers, a lot of the foster care people don't want to deal with them because they've already got their minds and their patterns and their ways set up. They'll take the little ones.
Right.
But it's probably the older kids that are getting, left out and getting adopted.
Well, I know John has a comment, but real quickly, why aren't the other 3,300 are eligible for adoption?
That was my question.
And what are the eligibility? What are
You
what are
said
the
there's only
requirements?
100 kids that are eligible for adoption. What does that mean?
Yeah, what are the requirements for eligibility for?
Well, they say right here, they say there's about 350 foster homes right now in Las Vegas Valley. But the need is to double that.
Mhm.
They need to double that.
It seemed to me they need more than double that if you got 3,300
Yeah,
more kids.
we need homes of every sort. for siblings, groups, for special needs kids, teenagers. Pretty much any child that you could think of is out there that needs help.
So again, it goes back to the 3,300 that are not available or eligible for adoption. What category do they fall in that they're not able to be adopted?
I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not sure
We'll leave that
why and that whole deal. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
I
I
don't
hate
know
to say that, but when kids are up for adoption, and I only see this on the news, or you would see a
Right.
movie, and
Or Sally Struthers' voice trying to.
the parents would come in.
Oh,
and
that's
they're,
a dog.
they're looking for younger children,
Right.
I believe.
Yeah, but
They're
all
not
of these
someone
kids,
who
all
might be 12,
3,400
13.
should be eligible.
And what is
Whether they're
Well, I
right, that's what
agree.
I'm saying. Whether they're selected
I don't
for
know what-
adoption, or not.
And it says
Once
right
they
here.
turn 18, they're out of the system.
Yeah,
Right.
And
They're out on the street.
And right here it says on Child Haven campus, there's a range of children
Mhm.
can be there anywhere from 1 day to 6 months. This woman said, "We have one child, unfortunately, who's been there for about a year."
Mhm.
It says in the report, it was noted that more than 70 foster homes are needed for children up to 7 years old of age.
Mhm.
So
There's
once
a need.
again, I think it's because these kids are probably older,
Right.
and
That's what I
folks
think.
don't want to have the older kids.
Right.
That's what I heard when I was
Sure.
dealing with those kids. And
No,
everything
I
else,
still
that
I
they
agree
didn't want
with
to
that.
deal with the teenage kids. They're tough.
Mhm.
They're hard.
Mhm.
They're rough,
You want
man.
to get them early so you can teach their own, like 4 or 5, 6 years old. Or,
But then again, the older ones are housebroken. You don't have to put them in diapers.
Yeah, they're housebroken.
And some
But
of them
boy,
are broken
and they're
around.
broken in a lot of ways
Right,
too.
of course.
Let me tell you. And so I think that's probably the issue, that folks don't want to deal with the older kids. They don't want a teenage kid, man, coming into their home and
Right.
disrupting their home because they got kids there of their own already.
I just
guys.
want to know what separates the 100 that are eligible.
Right.
Are they younger? Are they the younger ones? Is that part of the requirement?
It's probably they look at the kids. Look, you go in and they ask you, do you want a teenage kid or do you want an adolescent kid
they do.
or do you want little ones?
Right.
And so then what they'll do is they'll bring out their information,
Mhm.
and you as a family or you as the parents, you look through it.
I'd love to know the breakdown of those 3,400, where the age bracket is. I wish that article would have given more detail
Right.
of what the breakout, the demographics
Right.
of those 3,400 children are, regardless. I say children, what they are, just to get an understanding of what. And I agree with you. Everybody talks about these older kids. They're already set in their ways that's very difficult for families to break them of bad habits and try to help them.
That's
That
right.
doesn't mean though they should be any less desirable because they all want to find a home. There's a reason they're in foster care. They need a home. They need someplace that has a roof over their head consistently. They need that because even just those little things, you don't know, may be enough that they do get back on the tracks, John. That
Right.
these kids get back on their track. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I got you.
And the reason I brought
I
this
wasn't
up.
going anywhere with that.
Yeah, and the reason I brought this up about the foster care, we
Yeah.
just did with Rotary and that whole deal.
Yes.
We
Yep.
did the Santa Claus thing and that
Yep.
whole deal, and most of those kids were out of foster care. They were single parent home and that whole deal, and all they want is love.
Right.
All they want to do is be cared about and know somebody cares about them.
Absolutely.
Right.
Totally agree. All right. We're going to step aside for our second break a few minutes early because we still have a lot to talk about. America Speaks. We have a couple more topics that we can put on the table for discussion. Talk about next week's show and the upcoming schedule for the rest of this year. You're watching the Roundtable. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Most business owners struggle with the following issue. How do I brand my business to get noticed? Double Eight Design Studio helps businesses by designing brands that boost confidence, look and feel timeless, stand out from the competition, and attract all the right clients. Whether you are in need of a new brand, upgraded design elements, or completely redesign your current brand, Double Eight Design Studio has fully customized packages for your business. Call Chelsea McKendrick at 702-525-3334 and visit www.double8designstudio.com. Let Double Eight Design Studio. Hey everybody, I am Aaron Phillips. You are?
I'm Governor Val Brown Klingelhofer.
And we host what kind of show?
We host the most fabulous show on this network you've ever seen. It's all about Kiwanis and what's going on in our different cities.
And Kiwanis Connects is the title, and you can watch us every Friday morning, 9 to 10 a.m. Pacific time, right on Facebook or WWDBTV. Say goodbye.
Bye, everybody. Aloha.
You'll find the art that speaks to your heart at Desert Valley Gallery. I've got to have it.
So colorful.
I can't live without it. You'll find the art that speaks to your heart at Desert Valley Gallery.
All right, welcome back to the Roundtable. I got
I'm
George.
gonna stay out of
I
that
got
one.
George fired up before we come back. Anyway, hey, before we get Desert Valley Gallery, Ed and Richard and Monique and everybody up there, thank you so very much for sponsoring the show. By the way, between now and the end of the month, which is only about 2 weeks for your holidays, if you haven't done your shopping, you need to get up there, located in Tivoli Village, right around on the Valley Circle. If you go in there, make your very first purchase of $150 or more, and it's not difficult to do. They got a lot of great stuff up there. You will be entered into a drawing for a pair of tickets to their monthly cabaret show for 2024, your month of choice. But you must mention the Roundtable, Aaron Phillips, Rick Upchurch, George the Voice, WWDBTV, Aaron's
George
out.
the voice?
Well, see, even I'm
The
confused.
mouth.
The
That's
mouth,
all right.
the voice.
That's
The voice
okay.
has come out of a mouth.
Same thing.
Yeah, it's same pendage. Anyway, just go up there and mention anything regarding WWDB-TV. You will automatically be entered into the drawing with a minimum of $150 for your very first purchase. Returning customers to the gallery, well, they'll still appreciate your business, but because it's not your first purchase, you will not be eligible. So, first-time buyers, Rick Upchurch, $150 purchase.
Yes.
Get you into the drawing. All right, so thank you, Desert Valley Gallery, and thank you to Double Eight Designs, our friend Chelsea. If you need graphic design, please give her a call. She is terrific. She has done stuff for me, for my Aaron Phillips brand, and everything else. We appreciate that. Okay, so I've given
That
you guys
was a mouthful.
It was. I've given. That's called vamping because I was giving you guys enough time to figure out what topic you wanted to talk about before we go to America Speaks. Or I'll be happy just to select.
Yeah, go ahead and select one. We want the voice, the great Hall of Famer, to set us straight, man. Go ahead.
Well, go ahead, because you know where I want.
I know.
I want you to go there.
I don't want to go
Do you
there.
want to say that? Can you pull up the article? Or did you say that for America Speaks?
Well, I can save that for America Speaks, but I'm looking at another one.
Because Rick just said he doesn't want to go there, but if we leave it for America Speaks.
When I was going through this crap, here we are. Croquet, first of all.
No. Don't say that's America Speaks. I want you to say
No,
this for
that's
that.
that's a whole other.
No, but is that not what you were just talking about? Is that not connected?
Well, no, well, it's connected, but this is a whole other. I didn't even know this existed until I was.
All right, go ahead.
Since we're gonna key, I can always change that shit. Oh my god. Croquet. First of all, croquette, however you want to play it. It's one of those you knock the little ball through the little hoops.
It's a British game.
A
European
transgender competitor won. I guess
French.
The women's croquet championship. A man won. A transgender female won a croquet women's championship. First of all, croquet, really? I mean, really?
Means
Wait.
Which means anybody can.
No, you said a transgender man.
Well, transgender female.
Okay.
Whatever.
Big difference.
It was a man, though. It's a man. A man won.
Biologically a male. Right? Is what you're saying. Biologically a male.
Yes. Biologically male, transgender female, whatever, won a women's croquet championship. First of all, croquet. I started laughing when I heard croquet. I mean, if it wasn't a real sport, maybe, but still pisses me
But it's
off.
also a game, though, that you don't necessarily have to have a physical advantage for anybody.
Correct. So why even? What's the guy even entering a women's croquet championship?
Was it just a women's croquet tournament?
Yeah,
Okay.
and he won, and she won. She won. Why didn't you just play with the guys? I mean, I don't know the physical difference in the croquet. There's a lot of I don't know what the
Not only
hell.
am I watching George trying to stumble through this, but I'm watching Rick's reaction. Man, he's biting his lip over here. He's biting his.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming he's thinks a little bit like I do on this particular subject. But first of all, croquet, I started laughing. So what's the difference physically between male and female croquet? That
It's
this
the mallet
guy
and how you hold
had to
it.
go. Well, he should know how to hold a croquet bat, whatever you call it. Well, it
It's
just
a
makes me-
mallet, technically. It's called a
mallet.
mallet.
Yeah, it just makes me mad. That's all. We can go ahead, and I don't even have to read the comments. Most of them are X-rated. So go ahead. Yeah, is he biting?
He's biting. Is 911 on speed dial?
You know what? When it comes to croquet, I could give a flying freak, man.
Me neither.
I
but
don't care, man.
What if what about cornhole?
It doesn't matter to me, man, on that side. But when it's physical, man to man, woman to woman, and that type of stuff,
Well,
So you're
I think
okay with
they
the
have limits.
transgender winning a croquet?
I have no problem.
what
When
about
they
the
win,
guy
whatever
that
they want.
entered a women's chess championship and won? As a
I don't
woman.
care.
mean,
Anything
really,
like
though.
that, anything like that. So are you saying that a man's mind is stronger than a woman's? Try and have a baby and see if you got a
Oh my
got a
God!
stronger mind
I
than a woman.
thought I'm on the same page. I agree with.
Coming
but
soon to
still,
a channel near
it's
you,
just a
the
croquet,
transgender
though,
tiddlyweights
that's all.
championship,
I mean, you
because
can't
men
leave-
can tittle longer than
You
females.
can't leave the sports alone, even the croquet ones, the mine ones. Still, why can't you
To
just
me,
play with the
croquet's not a
guys?
sport anymore.
It's not a sport.
But why can't you
It's a
just play
game.
with the guys? Why can't you just why have we gone that far where you can't just play croquet with
So
the
would
guys?
would you be okay with the transgender entering the world poker tournaments and winning? Because
No!
those tables are mixed. They don't have a men's and women's side.
Yeah,
it's
they
a
do.
mixed
Yeah,
table.
they do.
Man.
Oh, they do have mixed, but they also have male and female. Also,
Well, why can't
Even in tennis, you have doubles.
mixed doubles?
Yeah, you have mixed doubles.
oh my God, really? Even where's Caitlyn Jenner? I need you, Caitlyn. I do for once in my life.
Wait a minute,
I
let me
need
put
you.
up the bat signal to help you.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ultimate trigger.
Go.
Oh my God.
Taylor Swift.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, come
What about
on, man.
is she transgender?
Swifty.
Does
What is it? What
Kelsey?
is it? What is it about all
Taylor.
this? What about?
Oh, you're talking about Swift and Kelsey and all
you
the
know, enough is enough.
I
Man.
think so,
I've seen
too.
enough of the young lady. I mean, I ain't got nothing against her, but
Me too.
my
I
goodness,
agree.
man.
Oh my lord.
I agree. Now I heard she's not hanging around Brittany Mahomes anymore.
Why
I
is
heard.
that?
Well,
Who the fuck cares?
because of Patrick's brother, who's
Oh,
been hanging out with him, and he's under investigation. or
Oh,
trouble
great.
for-
Well, I don't blame her then. If she has
Yeah.
to separate, so I don't blame her for
Yeah.
that. All right.
All right.
I want to leave enough. Did you have something for America Speaks?
I did, but I mean, I can't get the internet around this place. And this-
Well, why don't you look at the sheet on the wall up there about logging into the internet?
Yeah.
Use the one that the rest of us use.
And that's not gender
Oh, how
specific
about Al
either.
Michaels?
What about Al Michaels?
Getting booted from the? He's not going to be NFL playoff coverage. They're not using him.
Why not? I didn't know that.
They didn't say. It said scary times. It's kind of a shame because he's older and makes too much money.
Chris Collinsworth should be the guy to get rid of.
Really, I like him. I like Chris. I like
that
Chris.
explains a
Oh
lot.
my gosh,
but-
you guys are killing me.
What?
I say Rick Upchurch should be in the board.
Ah, Hey, I would love it.
I know you.
I would say, hey, Aaron Phillips, how
Yo,
you doing out there? Hey, George
I'd be-
Nicholas. Hey, John Stott. What's
and
up,
I'd
y'all?
be calling you like Tyreek Hill's wife, man. Rick, say this, God damn it!
Now,
I
so-
taught you better than this.
Speaking of that, when players when they retire, some have interest in going into the broadcast booth. Did you ever have an interest to go in and do it? Maybe you did it a couple
I've
times.
done
but,
it, yeah.
But
I-
and on a more
Did you dabble?
like
Yeah, I
like
dabble
Tony
in it.
Romo
Yeah, I've dabbled in
to
it.
make
That
it
Odell.
no
I've,
longer.
I've called arena football games. I've done, some Bronco games back in the day. It was
little
it was
people when you make it the big
it was
time.
preseason games in that Odell.
Call the lingerie.
I honestly, guys,
There is a lingerie
I just
bowl,
didn't want to.
and there
No,
is lingerie wrestling.
I sent all my information, man, to TNT down there because I had a chance to meet Ted Turner.
Yeah.
Had a chance to meet him in
He's
that
still
Odell. No, I think he's gone.
No, I don't think he is.
You don't think?
I
Okay.
don't know.
But anyway,
But yeah, so
but
you,
anyway, met him in that Odell. He says, Rick, send your information in. I've sent my information in.
nothing ever happened.
No bites or anything of that
Yeah.
nature. But Tom Jackson, he
Yeah.
got with
He had a
ESPN.
great career
And,
in
yeah.
the Boomer.
Great,
Yeah.
Yeah,
great.
I'm shocked that he
Career.
retired from all that.
Well,
He's doing so good.
once again, it
Apple
gets to
pie
the
and
money.
ice cream. Yeah.
It gets to that range of money, right? They say, wait a minute, we got to come back
I
down
was
here.
just saying, look at everybody who's been let go by ESPN. So that's
Everybody,
part of
half
it.
the-
Everybody,
yeah.
half of everybody there. All right. So you still don't have a topic. We have about 5 minutes left. So I'm going to go to another topic then.
Yeah, go.
Let's go with the feel good story. So Mike Tyson.
It is a feel good.
Literally
story.
feel good.
It is right, exactly. For all
Right
those
up my alley.
for
I
all those who may or may not know, Mr. Tyson is no longer a boxer. And he's decided to step into the world of entrepreneurship. And so he started a cannabis business here in Las Vegas, which really, quite frankly, should be no surprise. But he says, and I quote, his products are helping others find balance in their life. And I quote, he says, "It makes me feel grateful." Now, my question is, wait, are you telegraphing what my question is going to be? Is that why you're already laughing?
I already know where it's going.
What do you think he needs to feel grateful for, and why? I mean, the guy financially had a successful career. Granted, a few things like ear biting, and maybe he was grateful that he didn't get sick over biting his ear.
And Don King hammered him, man, financially.
That's
when
true.
he went to prison.
Very true.
I mean, hammered him for about $100 million.
Yeah, and taxes and all that.
And all
stuff,
that
right?
type of stuff and that whole deal. Look, I think Mike understands that for him, it's medicinal.
Sure.
It helps him out tremendously. A lot of guys with
Mhm.
CTE and
Mhm.
concussions and that type of stuff. I think it brings them down from the anxiety that they feel sometimes. And Mike could get angry.
Mhm.
Mike could snap. He get angry in a second, and he's gonna beat you, man, to a pulp. Yeah. And I met Mike. And Mike's a great guy. He's a good human being, a good person, very successful in that whole deal. But once again, he's got an edge on him.
Right.
And I think what he wants to do is keep that edge off because he doesn't want to hurt people.
So
I think he's a
Do you
good
think
guy.
you need that edge if you're going to beat the shit out of people for a living?
Yeah, but not now.
Well,
Or it's anger management.
I
is
will
what you're
tell
talking
now
about.
that I've
Right.
seen interviews of him now, and he's certainly calmed down a
Oh,
lot. And when he says some amazing, intelligent things now when he's not angry, and he's just level-headed.
Well, I don't know that
speaking
anybody
about-
really questioned his acumen of knowledge and his ability to.
when he
to
was
do
younger,
stuff.
maybe, but now,
But that's because
he's
boxing
older.
right? His boxing
he's
style
wiser.
overshadowed his smarts.
And probably people around him now have, he's learned a lot of stuff about a lot of things in the last 10, 15,
When he
20
first
years.
got into boxing, he was training in upstate New York at
Right.
the
Customato.
Gus,
right.
right. But he was also training at some of the famed hotels up there. And my grandparents, had to spend summers up there. I grew up there, so I loved that connection. But Mike, if you're listening, number one, we'd love you to sponsor our show. But number two, if you want to do a lot of business, reach out to Draymond Green because he can use a little something to
Right.
take the edge off. I mean,
I
he
think-
should be
I
his
think
number
so.
one customer, right?
I think so. If
and then I want a
the
percentage.
if the NBA allows, him to build,
I know
to
if they
use
do.
that product and that whole deal, I don't see anything wrong with it. And as a matter of fact, the National Football League
think
is
there's-
now really cutting back as far as how they
Definitions.
look at
Sure.
Well, here they are
marijuana and
softening
that
up.
whole deal.
They're
They're
softening up on it.
because they know, once again, the government since 1941 has had the understanding that medically, man, marijuana is a good thing.
Right.
They've held it away from us.
And it is not a performance enhancer.
It is not a performance.
Only
Only,
No.
only if you want to eat
Only
more,
if you want to eat, but yeah.
right? Especially White Castle.
Hello.
Oh my God, I can
Rat
eat 20 of
burgers.
those babies.
I know.
I had the opportunity to interview Tommy Chong
Mhm.
on election night when we were voting on use, and it was interesting because he said, people talk about the medicinal purposes of weed and all that, and because he went through colon cancer
Mhm.
and that kind of thing, and they talk about how it's a great treatment for cancer.
Yep.
And he said the drug does not do anything to cure cancer.
No.
What the drug does is it gives you an appetite so
Well-
that you will eat.
Right.
I was
And
going to say,
that's what helps you get better.
you've mentioned in the past with your treatments, you do use medically, right?
I do mine medically
Right.
and that whole deal. I take chemo pills every day, 3 a
Mhm.
day
Mhm.
for the rest of my life. So what it does, it takes away my appetite. It gives me anxiety big
Mhm.
time.
Mhm.
I can't sleep at night
Right.
because this medicine it's tough, it's strong, and I'm getting a blood transfusion every day.
Right.
So I have to have something to offset that.
Sure.
I don't want to take any more pills.
Right.
I am so tired of taking pills.
Well, Dr. G,
And
I'll
so-
come over to your house and service you, man. I got.
I know you. I know you got what's up and that whole deal.
He'll send
And so,
his transgender nurse over.
But,
to you.
but what I do is this. I studied it.
Right.
And I've sat down with people to understand what's going to be good for me
Right.
to help me out. To not just go out, man, and grab something. Let's say if I want to, man, be up and I want to, vacuum and all that type of stuff. I don't want an indica.
Right.
I don't want to be in the couch.
Right.
I want a sativa, so I'm up and at it too.
Right.
So you got to know what you're doing, what you're
too.
getting,
No,
and know what the
absolutely.
terps are, so that you can use it
30
appropriately.
years ago, you're just, hey, what's up? Now it's, do you want to stay up? Do you want to go to sleep? Do you want to? I'm going, well, I just want to get high. I mean,
But you know what? When I do it, I don't get high.
Right.
High means, man, I go up here, man, with some cocaine or something that's going to raise me up here and that whole deal. For me, man, it's a downer to me, and I just sit back, man. I watch TV, mind my business. I don't do a lot of talking.
what weed does for me, it makes me forget about everything else.
He would remember to tell you.
Explains a lot.
I was going to say, yeah, he'd remember to tell you, but he's obviously forgotten.
Right.
What
Hey,
you say, John? It explains a lot.
It explains a lot. All right, we got to wrap up and get on out of here. So with that, we
Man, I
want to
had
thank
it
everybody
too.
for watching. There was one topic that I purposely skipped because it's all about 5 elementary school kids in Virginia and Lynchburg that had
Oh, yeah.
gummy bears that was laced with fentanyl. So
Crazy.
that was
My
the one.
God.
So you can look at that online and read about that. All
Oh,
right,
my
fellas,
goodness.
we have about a minute to go. So George, final thoughts.
I'm getting out of here because it's the Raiders and Chargers, baby.
I'd be getting out of here too. If I
Keep
was
your head
you.
I
above
know that's
water,
right.
guys. Just keep living your life. Get up every day and thank God you're awake and just go do your day. We'll get through all this bad stuff. But go Raiders.
All right, Rick.
Great time of the season, folks. Be happy, be jolly. One thing I want to say to the kids: were you naughty or nice?
Naughty.
Just the kids.
Just the kids.
Hey,
Naughty.
everybody, thank you for watching. Quick reminder, 9 to 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, Kiwanis Connects. Dr. Val and I, we will be meeting with 3 individuals who are stroke victims, but they've also started an organization called PSA, Pacific Stroke Association. They're working on educating folks out there to recognize the signs of stroke so that people's responses to them can be greatly reduced and be saved than what is happening now. So I encourage you to please tune in tomorrow. Great information. As always, be kind to everybody. Why? We're all we have. We'll see you next time right here. Next week's show, last one for 2023.
Wow.
And we have a great organization coming on. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.